Okay, so let's get into the middle of another quarterfinal right about now. You already do have partial result in there, as you can see. So you're right now switching into, well, Marsh, with plenty of interesting gods yet again. It's gonna be an Isis for Hungry for Blood. Then will be Gaia with Therapist Hey, alright. With Oramain No Brain playing Oranos and Medium Bot going to be getting Ra. So Oramain No Brain getting Oranos from the random is kind of funny. Definitely have to agree with that, but otherwise it's basically Atlantean with an Egyptian, so it's gonna be at least kind of nicely fair. And thank you for the follows earlier, Legend and Aspect, and hey Swissboy, welcome to the stream, as well as everybody else. Now, so apparently in the end it's going to be a rare, or...
Yes.
Okay, so that's gonna be right about now a veto. Oramain No Brain was apparently unhappy. Maybe he would have liked to play Oranos. I need to be looking at the recorded games now. We are at 8. Okay, so after next round, or maybe let's just save it now, so that I don't forget. To be a shame to lose any games. It would be certainly quite a huge shame. And kinda J4, yeah, I can kinda agree that maybe they could have tried to play a bit longer. Definitely agree on that, that chance was maybe there. Oh, maybe this is gonna wait now better from the other side then? Maybe they're kinda communicating about it. So what do they have? Posse with Thor. And on the other side it's gonna be Oranos with Set. Just in civs, apparently they're gonna be calling the rare themselves. Okay, so both are out of vetos. So we have joined into a bit of a veto war here. But nonetheless, I'm thinking that in the last game that the blue guy would be really getting kinda annihilated at the back. Those hoplites would be completely destroying him. You are kinda right. That Teal was also kinda getting deadish. So I really don't know. At that kind of situation, it's kinda correct that you could be thinking that playing like 1 or 2 minutes more to see how he develops could be right. But yeah, well, that's also kinda like the bit of a mental game, right? Where you are just basically trying to push your opponent to resign. And if somebody is gonna be a bit more tempted for that, then that's also a victory, right? But well, at any rate, as I kinda started, not sure if I finished. Thank you for the follows, Legend and Aspect Untold. So you're gonna be looking at Aura No Brain with the Poseidon this time, Medium Bot as the Odin. And then for the opponents, it's going to be Kronos for Hungry for Blood. And the other player, it's gonna be Therapist Hey playing with the Thor. It's not really that much different, the gods here. But obviously, I'm thinking that really Oramain No Brain was really looking forward to having the Oranos in the last game. But for example, Poseidon is quite a solid civilization, so not really that much of a problem. So you're gonna be, of course, right now expecting fairly safe gold mines for him. Quite nice protection in the front, but he's gonna be playing against the Thor. So therefore the Thor could be quite easily opening it and abusing it from that. So we'll see. At the same time, we do have the Odin. So if anything that we have learned from the very first game, or the very first match that we have streamed, then that, for example, fast heroic with Heimdall and Njord is definitely pretty solid on Anatolia. I'll be liking to see that again, because that was quite nice. You can see against the Atlantean it can be coming against the Norse, doesn't exactly matter against whom. I mean, both could be quite useful and could be doing that rather effectively. As I'm kinda liking, of course, right now the first wood line being used, the top one, because obviously it could be quite significantly help keeping the safer one all the way through back and better one in a bit better position. So right now 4 and 6, he probably should have deposited all the food there. Is it gonna be a problem? Probably not. But at the same time, he could be gathering a bit longer without disruption. But considering how slowly they are right now gathering the food, it's probably gonna be fine. He's gonna be able to finish it anyway. It's gonna be costing him about, what is actually the time? 14 seconds. And the dock is taken right about now for him about, I don't know, half a minute, maybe even a bit more than that. Then about like 2 fishing boats are gonna be obviously missing. That's of course a bit of a disadvantage. That's something that the opponent should be able to take advantage of with the Ankofra for a bit of favor, and the second relic that we so far see is better Archer Ballista, Kiro Ballista, Elves and Range. So obviously for the archers, for the Poseidon, if he's gonna be going for them, because obviously we can be expecting plenty of horses from him coming forward. Otherwise, the front EC4 hungry for blood is kinda nicely positioned so far, not really that much of a problem. We just need to be waiting for the gold mines, obviously. It almost seems this is gonna be similar spawn to what we have noticed in the first Anatolia that we have streamed. Basically, a bit of a circle around. You can see second, third one there. So maybe there's gonna be a gold here, somewhere close by to the water, but it could be also like this one, because we are not too far away from the water here anymore. So not sure. Could be either of those things. Just gonna have to see a bit later, I guess. Okay, nonetheless, there's gonna be probably a second as well coming forward here, as we're gonna be having a bit of a pause by Therapist Hay with someone. Yeah, so if somebody is doing that, then please don't. Oh, somebody is giving up right about now who he is. Hogo Começou. So this is Portuguese, right? I think it's... So Hungry for Blood is gonna be some kind of Portuguese player. Right now this is not entirely all that much of a hard guess for us. Unless he has kind of switched languages on us. That would be next level smurfing, if actually somebody did that. It's not impossible, but also kind of quite tricky, so I wouldn't be exactly expecting that, because I wouldn't want to have the game in Brazilian if I wasn't speaking Brazilian. That would be pretty much quite a hard one. Or is it actually Brazilian in Age of Mythology? Is it just standard Portuguese? Might be standard Portuguese, I think, actually. Because it's an old game, and I don't think they were doing Brazilian back then. That's a bit of a thing of like the past 5-10 years, maybe. Where like Latino, Spanish, and Brazilian Portuguese started to be used a bit more. Just basically based on the numbers, right? I mean, like, there's a difference in them. So, plenty of ghosts right about now apparently getting killed. And also, still, even left there to rot. You can see he's not even using all the ravens. No, if he's not rather using all the ravens, then I'm thinking that actually mediumbot is not gonna be Norse main, or at least not familiar with the Odin. As I don't think anybody who is actually familiar with that would be making such a kind of mistake. With infantry damage versus titans, excluding Atlantean heroes, you can see in there. Well, there's gonna be a bit of an attempt to see if maybe there's gonna be a lot of water fighting or not. So Prometheus in, that's gonna be Freya in there, Hermes in there, and all the way to the bottom also Freya. So not any kind of Heimdall or... No, obviously you cannot go for Heimdall, but Heimdall could have been going for a potentially medium bot all the way to the top, but doesn't want to be risking it. And so far, 2 dogs here, 2 dogs all the way to the top. There's gonna be only second dog now. That's a bit later. That almost leads me to believe that Oramen is also not all that familiar with the Greeks. He probably knows basic standard build order, but otherwise, if he was going seriously for that, he could have gone for a second dog a whole lot faster. And kinda should have. But well, all the way to the top, this game right now, of course, the Kronos already moving next to opponent, next to the dogs, trying to deny them for the time being, as medium bot is so far having at least a few more boats right now next to his dog. And he's apparently housed, it's a bit unfortunate. Yet another reason to kind of think that maybe medium bot is not a Norse main. But well, still at this point, as we're gonna be looking at still continued attack, probably not gonna be all that extremely successful, I'm thinking, especially on the land. On the water, it's gonna be just kinda depending slightly. You can see 3 dogs here, he definitely can be fighting for it. And considering he's having quite a nice defensive position, as long as he can be keeping this dog up, then probably Hungry for Blood won't be able to finish all that well. And he should be having a bit harder time. You can see it's gonna be Valkyrie all the way to the top, or rather, to the top. And rather... Oh, no, that's not such a great idea. I mean, like, you can be trying to mob the Valkyrie, but you need to be careful about the health points there. The health points in there at least a bit. Okay, unfortunate placement of the temple. He was trying to protect it from... He was trying to protect it from the, of course, reconstruction by the opponent there at least a bit. At least a bit in there. So you're gonna be, of course, looking all the way to the right flank, because with Hungry for Blood, obviously going to be always having a temple in there as the Kronos, not really that much of a surprise. On the left on the water, it seems that it's gonna be a bit challenging for No Brain, because obviously he's gonna be having a bit of a false target with the Hippocampus there. Now, so you're looking at longboats right about now with, no, 10 of them. Trirem has only 5. 7, he's gonna be getting, no, not really 8, 9. Too quickly. Not really sure about that too much. So far it seems like a Therapist A could be probably pushing a bit more against the boats. Basically just try to see how long he and how far away he can push it. You can see on the other side this is gonna be just a standard squad. Hippolyta, Theseus, Kataskopos and a Centaur coming for a visit. Coming for a visit, whereas all the way to the right flank, you can see that mediumbot is right now gonna be in a good position to take a bit of an advantage. There doesn't seem to be any kind of up yet, obviously. We are way too early in the game. But obviously right now the stronger boats from the Norse are gonna be certainly pay off. You can see he's going for a bit of a kiting, but needs to be controlling slightly better. And since the dog is not even right now shooting here, it is quite a fine fight, or the fine spot for him to be fighting. Just needs to be really careful about not being overpowered too much, as the faster creation speed can be still helping the Atlantean, though it shouldn't be all that extremely helpful. As far as basically just the boats being so damn weaker, and on Anatolia you don't have really all that much of maneuvering space, basically just top and down, and therefore you don't have to be all that extremely worried if you are playing against them about their bonuses. Just need to be keeping the numbers up, and then you should be basically able to win. So it's all about for the Kronos and for the Atlantean to be basically faster than you at the very beginning. Faster, advanced, with a faster creation time to overpower you with numbers at the very start. But once you manage to survive that, then you should be gaining edge, basically bit by bit. Well, nonetheless, all the way to the left, Oramain No Brain is going to be apparently losing right now significantly on the water. As with a bit of good combination and cooperation with Hungry for Blood, that was a nice idea. It's going to be right now letting them probably win the left water completely and utterly. I don't think that Ora No Brain is going to be able to really do anything there with that. As the raiding by Oramain is kind of not bad, but it doesn't seem it's going to be all that effective. Quite nice little micro in the head in the village at the last second, as he's trying to basically micro fire it. It's going to be kind of hard to finish and hit exactly that one dwarfy on the left, especially if he's not paying attention right now here. Very well done. You can see that Therapist A and Hungry for Blood are going to be pretty solid players, I'm thinking, based on what we are so far seeing here. You can see that Theseus is gonna be almost dead, and right about now it's gonna be time for Hippolyta. Very well played. Not entirely that entirely well played by Oramain No Brain, but still, he was trying to still fight on the water ever so slightly. He's gonna be obviously losing. Not much of a chance for him at all to be winning that. As otherwise, pickaxes for basically all 3 players in there. Just one last player is gonna be Teal. Not taking it yet. Maybe because he already has that. No, because he already has that. That's exactly the reason for it. All the way to the right on the water, you can see that mediumbot was taking a bit of respite in the water battle. Right now, gonna be getting the numbers back up yet again. As he's at 20 boats against 13. And he's having, of course, the 7 attack versus 5. And also 50 more hit points. So this is just, yeah, well played. Well played indeed in there so far. You can see he's gonna be already taking the front DC quite confidently. Gonna be maybe even trying to take the one here, all the way in the middle. That's basically the front DC for Hungry for Blood already, who is taking the back one. Just right now jumping into the second. And so it's gonna be Oramain No Brain right now taking second DC. Whereas so far Therapist Ace is gonna be still only on one, or on one. But Husbandry. Wait a second, Husbandry. Come on. Really, you're gonna be getting Husbandry when you're having like 4 goats left? And they are already fattened at 252, so basically almost full. It's 300 is full, right? Yeah. Now he's going for Husbandry? Really? I mean, like, 100 wood and 50 gold can be probably spent a bit better at this stage. But yeah, well, he's kind of desperately right now switching into the land, I'm thinking, because of how the water is going. You can see him at 30C for mediumbot. So he's gonna be fairly confident at this point in his shoes, I'm thinking. As Therapist A on the left side, he's gonna be already finishing with the second DC, but doesn't have to be finished yet. Okay, this is gonna be scouted. You can see good timing. Can be probably even moving through here if he wants to. Okay, as you can see that our main No Brain at this point is gonna be right now leading into a bit of an advantage for him. You can see that on the land there's gonna be Scuddy coming forward from red. Obviously he does have all the food from winning the water and still prowling with the boats. So trying to just see what he can be doing. Whereas all the way to the right flank, this is gonna be right now the Norse winning the water as well. So you can see quite a solid water domination. Quite a solid water domination all around here. From the Norse players. Whereas on the land, it might be getting a bit more challenging here. So basically, this is gonna be medium, but obviously trying to protect the TC as long as possible. Is there gonna be the heroic age already for Hungry for Blood? Yes, he is. He is also getting alluvial clay to improve at least a bit of the Prometheans in there. I mean, like, it's not too expensive upgrade, so it might be worthwhile for him. To the top, that's gonna be Curse already cast. He didn't get too many pigs, only 5. Actually 6, sorry. So 6, so in the end it's alright. I was seeing only like 4 at the very beginning. So that's when I was calling it, and in the end it wasn't too bad. With the Frost, damn. Frost now. I mean, like, he's gonna be freezing most of the enemy army. He could be giving himself a bit of a chance of second TC. He should be taking it. We at least like one Ulfsag or something along those lines. As you can see, this is gonna be right now Harter's Folly for a better view. Or Ulfsags and potentially Priest, but we don't have Priest here either. But otherwise in the middle, that's gonna be a bit of a tricky hill fort as he needs to be securing the gold. As this one is a bit too far away, and therefore with this settlement there, even though it's close by, still is denied by the wood line. But I'm not really sure that this actually was like the bestest possible that he could have been getting. But well, at any rate, seems to be working alright for what he's trying to do there. At least for the time being, but obviously it's also gonna be allowing Oramain, since we are stuck at this position, to maybe make some kind of claim on the middle of the map, maybe even get the TC himself, and get himself, of course, a secure second gold mine. Back TC in the end for Therapy Zay. I'm really curious why he didn't pick the frost one, or the front one, sorry. During the frost. It's kind of strange to me. A decision would have been making a bit more sense, I'm expecting, and I'm thinking kind of. But well, at any rate, medium bot on the right flank is gonna be right now having already at least medium infantry. For the opponent, it's gonna be pretty much the same, or not yet? Not yet. Not yet, but he does have nice numbers, but I don't think they're gonna be good enough against the upgrades here. You can see that Chaos is already cast, gonna be costing a few units. Didn't exactly do too much. Not sure why he was casting Chaos and also disengaging. He maybe just didn't notice the opponent also falling back. Might be the case, because he was just... Unfortunate timing, I'm thinking, with the Chaos. That he was basically set to cast it just before he noticed that the opponent is already coming back. But yeah, well, happens. All the way to the bottom is gonna be right now freeing all the population limit from the water. Could be getting another deck for the dock there. Maybe another one all the way to the bottom to control the water a bit more confidently. So yeah, building a lot of settlement. Therapy is gonna be getting second and third at the same time. With medium bot on the right flank getting a fourth one already. So that might be a bit of a tricky situation. Could be allowing the Atlantean, especially the Atlantean, to maybe overpower him with Atlas. But with Balder already for medium bot, maybe not too much. Though right now heavy infantry, copper weapons. Husbandry for non-Atlanteans on the other hand is actually making quite a good sense, because it's helping even with farming. They don't have to be walking to the TC as often. Medium Wolves not having anything there. How is he looking with his Ragnarok? Not too great. Not too great, so this is actually definitely not over. That Balder for medium bot, if it's gonna be played properly, it can be doing a lot of damage. Heavy Ulfsags, you can see, is double bronze. Well, double copper, sorry. As he's trying to push against the gold mine here. With Atlas in, Balder, Ragnarok instantly cast. He doesn't have too many ups. Like, he's having the whole copper line, he's not gonna be getting anything too much extra. Maybe like bronze shields he could be still getting there. Unless he wants to be keeping it for extra TC. Not really sure. Not really sure at all, but nonetheless what is definitely the reality is that Therapy is gonna be pushing against Oramain no brain, because he has been, well, he has managed to also steal the front TC from his opponent. You can see he's gonna be already upgraded into Fortify. So we have a fairly interesting gambit here, with both Norse getting to 4th TC because of having the water, and therefore having a bit easier game for themselves. Whereas, well, right about now the Atlantean and the Greek trying to survive at all costs, and obviously getting a bit challenged on the gold, as there's still the front gold mine fully, 3000 full. So it's not really too much problematic. You can see right now the villages could be also finishing with the wall in here sometime soonish and sooner. But obviously with right now the army being consumed on the left side, blocking Therapy's hay, and it's gonna be right now the implosion, trying to suck up all the army, but oh well, it doesn't seem it's gonna be working too extremely well. He's sucking up, for example, the Argus and his own units. No. He's gonna be, for the time being, protecting the TC, even though of course the damage into the buildings is not gonna be all that small. with a few villages still to the left. You can see the heresies moving absolutely everywhere. And how many does he actually have? He's gonna be looking after the explosion. Okay, the buildings are gonna stand in. 1 hit point, literally. Literally 1 hit point here on the counter barracks there. What was Drak exactly? 85 to like... No, okay, like 70 racks. 65, 70 rack maybe. Something along those lines. That's actually pretty solid. That's gonna be good enough against the Atlantean. You can see donkeys dying on both for the civilians and therefore citizens, and also for basically trade. It seems to me, so... Or is it actually trade already? That cannot be trade. He doesn't have donkeys, obviously. So there's only villages in there. Donkeys are only all the way to the top. But Baldur is already in. And now also from Therapist Day. Suddenly, dwarfies and villages turning into Heroes of Ragnarok. Right now, double copper. Did Teal get something more? No, he did not. So they're pretty much playing right now the same. And the Reds is how strong? Can see he's gonna be about like 50 maybe. Considering how much water he has. So it's gonna be a whole lot weaker Ragnarok right now for a Red. But obviously this is gonna be now resulting into both of them still having water, so they're gonna be having quite a solid chance on making it work. So far, mediumbot's Ragnarok is working pretty well. He's gonna be probably able to right now claim this space. No, maybe not that fully, but it really wholly depends on what Orame No Brain is gonna be able to do with the units that he has. He's gonna be about now able to raid the villages to the top. Hungry Blood, or the Hungry for Blood, I was hoping that it's gonna be working out for him, but in the end, probably not so much with Frost right now for medium bot, and that's gonna be at least part of the army right now gone. Kinda like the smaller part. He caused just the smaller part of the army. Oh man, like, I don't know, 10 units maybe, instead of 20 here to the top. That's a bit unlucky. But yeah, well, it's gonna be forcing me to retreat, which is obviously giving quite a bit of opportunity for the bottom team to maybe recuperate. Obviously, with all the units right now coming forward from blue, it doesn't have to be all that enough time, but considering he has absolutely no up whatsoever, or the ups, you can see only medium hip spits and absolutely nothing else from the armory, for example. Well, it's also all about if maybe blue will be able to get Mythical Age, and it's probably gonna be through Earthquake, therefore Artemis, and Earthquake maybe that's something useful. But so far, if we can be getting right now the TC up quickly enough, should be. Definitely should be. As right now with the units kinda being mostly taken care of, it will also result into Therapist. They probably able to deal with this, and he's having way more throwing axemen. Way more throwing axemen, he's having even iron mail, and you can see bronze weapons. He did manage to get, wow, one hell of an upgrade set, as opposed to the opponent in that. That's of course why he's having such a decent fight, even though he's having way less Heroes of Ragnaroks. You can see even iron weapons Thor for Red still. You can see he's gonna be out of all the gold, but he should be right now able to recuperate rather alright with the villages. Now with having basically 4 TCs himself, same as medium bot on the right flank, I'm actually thinking that this game is definitely far from over, that the bottom team definitely does have a chance to win it still. So, and therefore, you're gonna be able to maybe do at least a bit here for the time being, as far as keeping green alive. Because he's right now able to rebuild second TC. He's gonna be at 2 for the time being. Sneaking back on the water, nice. So something I'm liking to see here. Does he have some upgrades? Not really. Teal is having Pursane. Red is at... right now Salt Amphora, and obviously Blue doesn't have anything. He's not even attempting a bit of a comeback. He's nicely blocked right about now by Therapist. You can see there are gonna be also a few siege weapons coming forward, and well, quite plenty of infantrymen with the heavy paspis there. As Angry Forbot is going for a bit of a short pause, but they seem to be right about now stabilizing rather alright. Now Therapist is probably gonna be coming up fairly quickly himself. Let's gonna check that out. Now you can see that medium bot is obviously a bit faster up, because he kinda cast it a bit faster himself, but nonetheless, he also started losing the units a bit faster. You can see the difference is actually fairly high, about like 15 maybe. So all the way to right flank, the army is... no, he needs to be getting a few more units here. I'm thinking especially the archive would be really helpful against obviously all the infantry there. Okay, so we're gonna be right now continuing with the battle. This is probably like the only action here. And even though to the top the TC is probably gonna be falling for Therapist there, I don't think it's all that much of a problem for him. So he should be still having like enough army to kind of keep it from coming into enemy hands. You can see he's having a few units in there. He's looking at the pop limit 159. He does have some resources. He's of course building the economy. So I don't think this is gonna be all that simple for nobody to be taken, though he does have the ceasefire. So he can be using that quite effectively. You can see right now coinage, he's not getting any kind of mythical age. So on the right flank, this is gonna be probably, I'm thinking, enough for Hungry Blood to defend. So I'm almost thinking that maybe Therapist could be trying to switch a bit more to the top yet again to kind of properly counter what the opponent is having. But problem is that we are looking at a decent amount of Hypaspis and he is having still way too much infantry. Oh, that's a bad miscommunication here between Hungry for Blood and Therapist. That resulted into basically most of the army being gone. That might be quite a bit of a game decider here. Because he lost like almost everything right now, Therapist Day. And as he's being pushed also on the left side here, as he unfortunately wasn't able to produce enough army there yet. And yeah, that's a pretty good point, Kronos JJ, that even though mediumbot is also having water, he doesn't have Sultan before, and he's having basically like half of the fishing boats. Whereas threat is all around. You can see he's even trying to produce a bit more here. Still, and kind of curiously enough, basically Blue is not paying any kind of attention to it at all. It's a bit of a surprise. You can see he's gonna be trying to switch to the bottom himself, but without the extra bonus against the buildings, as he's not Zeus, then the Hypaspis are taking quite a long time to put it down. This is gonna be all about waiting for the mythic, for the Poseidon, and therefore for how's it called? For the earthquake. As you can see, there's a bit of a trade. Yeah, going for basically both teams. Seems like that is a bit more prevalent for medium bot. Even though there's quite a solid trade to the bottom for basically both players. Mostly for Hungry for Blood. That's kind of what is keeping him alive. Yeah, well, he's gonna be having a bit of a struggle against the enemy units. He didn't get any kind of upgrades there, but this is only medium Arca with Copper Mail himself. So while it's a correct upgrade against the enemy infantry, it doesn't have to be all that much of an important one. Because he's not able to get up the numbers. Obviously medium bot is gonna be 167 population limit, whereas number 3 is at 130. So you can see he's having 30 less population limit, 30, 40 less population limit. And maybe it's gonna be even more of a difference in that. As of course the economy is getting right now just, well, it is just growing for medium bot as far as the villages. Okay, so right now this is probably gonna be able to survive this for the time being, but obviously this wood line is gonna be a problem for the Petrobola, exactly. They're gonna be able to shoot from behind it, and therefore getting hard, they're being hard to get rid of. So maybe right now at least one for a giant could be noticing it, but I'm thinking that actually Therapist is not all that aware that the Petrobola is even shooting, so maybe he's thinking, well, he's probably not even noticing that all that much. So far those fire giants will be probably able to deal with most of the infantry here. So a bit of an interesting choice that actually as the Poseidon he's going so heavily into that, but seems to be working for him so far, so kind of why not, I guess. Now he's gonna be of course tied with the third TC in there, but problem is that right now Hungry for Blood all the way to the bottom is gonna be under quite a heavy assault of not only about like 2 million fire giants, but also quite a few ballistae here, and that's not something that the Atlanteans are not entirely all that great at dealing with in the late game. They usually do have a bit of a problem with it. Now, okay, so she's gonna be about now. Hungry Blood trying to fight for his life, but he really doesn't seem to be all that well predisposed. 45 TC. Oh, it's gonna be coming probably a bit too late, right? Not gonna be able to save this TC. It's gonna be, of course, right now putting him into way worse situation. So I'm not really all that optimistic about the green situation in the game. Sultan for a finally for medium bot. As he's not really going for the extra water echo. As for example, his opponent is here. But he does seem to be having everything pretty much well in a hand. Heavy throwing axeman, still the same upgrades. Whereas all the way to the top, you can see a Therapist Hey with the main, or the Aura main no brain. That's a pretty nice game so far. You can see no upgrades for no brain still. And we also need to be considering the fact that this is right now double iron and copper. Whereas Blue is still in the heroic age, he's not even in the mythical. With Hungry for Blood in heavy archers, heavy infantry. He's gonna be needing some kind of assistance really quickly. You can see plenty of resources for Therapist to potentially finish upgrades. Whereas, well, not entirely the same can be said about Hungry for Blood, as he obviously is suffering quite heavily. And that's why Therapist is gonna be trying to help in there. Gonna be looking forward, I'm thinking to maybe slightly help, but yeah, that's way too much population limit. And if medium bot is gonna be able to get the 50C, which at this point seems quite likely, then I think it's gonna be pretty much done. But maybe it's not gonna be happening. Therapist A definitely could be dropping a temple for exactly the 5 giants to deny TC as long as possible. It's something that definitely should be happening. So all the way to the top, that's just a bit of a funny wall in trying to stop the trade apparently, and quite successfully so. You can see Hungry for Blood is having a bit of a problem with all llamas, as they're getting blocked more and more for the time being, and a bit more to the bottom side. There is still a path through. There's still a path through, but this one is the kind of like the main one that the caravans like to be taken, and apparently there's gonna be a bit of a duel between 2 Hersirs, with Llama joining up. But, well, even though this guy's gonna be losing, his friend, Unsnowwielder, is gonna be avenging a Hak Hammer Skinner. And Hero of Ragnarok is gonna be falling fairly soon after. So to the top, you can see that there was a fortress here a bit earlier. The TC is still standing, interestingly enough. You can see that Therapist that managed to solve that situation in there, and the problem for the time being. Now there's gonna be 1 piggy, and apparently new Petrobolai attempted to be done. But really, on the left side, it seems to be a Therapist they will be able to kill Oramain No Brain. But it just needs to be someone making the situation a bit more tenable in the middle. And of course, they need to be getting rid of the annoying trade stopping in the middle here. Because that could be quite easily costing in any kind of attempt on going forward. You can see it in the middle, plenty of walls also coming up, with even the Ravens overseeing the construction. Whereas in the middle, it seems like the few upgrades that are coming forward from Hungry for Blood, as he managed even a Palaces. Here all the way to bottom is actually working alright. Heavy Fanatics, all copper upgrades for the Urus Champion Infantry, and I can already get at least Bronze Mail. So he's slightly getting better. But with Artemis, yeah, this could be actually kind of the difference here. Because once Artemis is gonna be cast somewhere here to get rid of the TC. He does have Masons, he doesn't have Architects. With Burning Pitch Thor coming forward, so that's gonna be helpful for the Ballistae. It's a bit of a funny upgrade that we are. Well, that has been talked about at RTS Sanctuary lately as well. But yeah, I'm thinking that the Earthquake is gonna be probably a bit of a game winner. They're gonna be using it, oh well, all the way to the right. That's also a bit of an option. I was thinking maybe he could be just using it to win his side. But in the end, it's going to be to win the side, kind of close the one on the right, basically without any kind of chance on the comeback here. So good job by Hungry for Blood, surviving as long as he could have. But unfortunately, well, all the way to the left, the battle was going really well for Therapist. But No Brain did enough. Did enough to keep Therapist busy, so that he couldn't save his teammate in there. Yeah, well, nicely played. Damn, that was really close. Those Ragnaroks were just kinda killing each other. I think in one of the important places and battles was the miscommunication between Hungry and Therapist here, where Hungry was coming with the army and Hungry unfortunately wasn't. I think this was a bit of a problem for him. And overall for them. And yeah, that could have been basically just exactly one of the deciding moments, because that was at the crucial time where he needed to be saving units and rebuilding his echo. And unfortunately, that exactly kind of backfired, and it then spilled into mediumbot, getting into Hungry's Blood's base and really killing him quite a bit there. And way too much for him to be able to survive and get too many ups quickly enough. No? Quite a nice game though. Definitely open for both sides. Quite nice, of course, trade stop in here. They definitely help also a bit. Hungry for Blood was missing because of that slightly. But it was just a basically highlight for both of the Norse on the flanks. Mediumbot and Therapist Hay. Executing pretty well both of these. But let's have a look in the postgame. That will be right now Mediumbot with the highest score. Not really too far away Therapist Day, because really this was a game in their control. They were the ones that were setting the pace of the game altogether. You can see the economy fairly similar between Therapist and Medium. Maybe slightly better for Therapist. Maybe better for him. Good combination between Hungry for Blood and Therapist. The construction really helped Therapist win the water without pretty much any kind of fight, which also allowed him to boom so massively and get into a good game. Mediumbot definitely had to be fighting for it a whole lot more against against Hungry for Blood. I can see, of course, that was a problem for Hungry for Blood, but it wasn't all that much better for Oramain. You can see the units lost and units killed. You're just in quite a tough situation there. And at that point, the Atlantean buildings and even the units are a bit more squishy, let's say, than the Greek ones. The Greek ones are kind of good overall. And obviously when you have something like the Hippospis there, then that's a solid unit that can be helping you against the Norse, especially against the Rak, and some kind of remainders of the Rak. You can see the main unit Hippospis in there. Arca obviously quite a good unit as well. Bit of issue was that he was at only medium, so he wasn't all that efficient in the fights as he would have wanted to be. But medium bot also wasn't upgraded, so the thing is that he just managed to get, of course, the 4 TC, so therefore way more population limit, and he kind of sacrificed the number, or sacrificed the upgrades for the numbers. Seemed to be the correct decision in the end. But it was also potentially the opening for medium bot, or for Hungry Blood, to kind of get into him if he managed to get them faster. Unfortunately, it didn't exactly happen. You can see the racks here, the difference about, like, I don't know, 50, not even, like 45 rack probably, 45, 48 maybe for that. But it still did see reasonable damage, because he managed to get quite a lot of ups. He managed to get actually into iron there, I think into the mail, and either the weapons or bronze mail, something along those lines. Some good irons. So well done on that. Wait, well, medium bot, that was a bit more powerful, but the upgrades were slightly slower. It was, of course, all copper, so at least something. But in the end, it wasn't too much different from Therapist as far as the effect. But he did manage to get enough foothold on Hungry Blood, more than Therapist against Oramain. As Therapist had to be kind of saving the situation on the right quite a bit, obviously, against the Rak that was fast from medium, or the fast from medium. And that is why, right about now, Oramain, No Brain, and Medium Bot are advancing into the semifinals, so congratulations on that. And Therapist Day and Hungry for Blood, we have seen only one game, but solid performance, really close. So maybe in the next tournament, GG.